Yeah, I thought the education game was good to see all those kids that came out, support us, and thanks to the school boards around the area for allowing that. I thought the Shreveport game, LSU Shreveport game, was something that we really was able to use to see. I think everybody but two people scored in that game, so that's good to see that we could try some different lineups, and it seemed like it worked pretty good. And then when we go to Louisiana Christian, it didn't. We had to play some of our starters a little bit longer than we like to. And I think the thing that we noticed more than anything was the fact that we got to get better at the defensive side. The ones coming off the bench quite didn't defend like we liked. And so it's great going into where we're going into right now is I always say we become professional athletes as soon as finals is over. We get to spend a little bit more time on what we do and try to get better at it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you schedule and the schedule don't work out like you like. I just didn't feel we played up to par, and it's just part of, I guess, the scheduling part.
Is the second group better offensively but not as good defensively?
I would say potentially they have. Yeah, potentially they have more scorers, on that second group. But defensively, I just thought, when you're guarding in the post and they're 15-footer in, you got to get up on them. And that was some of the things that I was kind of surprised. I've seen it in the past with some of our programs, but that's something that I didn't really notice it because, we treat a post or a guard the same way. We want them to get out and guard, 25-foot. And, I saw a lot of shots, 12, 15-foot in, just not being contested. And that's the whole thing about our defense. Our defense is predicated on making them take a bad shot. It's that simple, get them to take a little bit tougher shot. So it's something. But, yeah, I would say the second team's potentially could be really good offensively.
Coach, what's the plan this week? Obviously, the player's primary focus has to be final exams, but obviously as a coach, you still want to kind of keep them fresh and prepared for Auburn on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the thing for us, I'm not, concerned too much about Auburn as kind of figuring out, as a student. I remember when I was a student, man, when you're starting to study all these tests and all that, sometimes you got to get out there and run. Just get out there and exercise, and that's going to be the main focus up until Wednesday. Today we'll just do a little bit of shooting. Tomorrow, pretty much the same thing. Then Wednesday, they're off from all classes, and we'll have a 2.5 hour practice, a regular practice, to start to prepare for Auburn. So it's just a little different, I think their bodies kind of deserve it from that November, just being on the road and all that. And, our strength and conditioning coach is kind of saying that, like a Tamara Johnson playing a lot of minutes and all the traveling. This week we're going to utilize to kind of, especially Monday through Wednesday, to kind of let them rest a little bit. But it's still touch the ball. I think that's a big part of it. We're just kind of touching the ball, getting shots up.
You played your two bigs at the same time a few times against Louisiana Christian. What are you looking for when they're both in the game?
I don't know. We were looking for something a little bit better, and that's when I think we saw some defense. One's a little bit stronger, the Joseph kid's a little bit stronger on the defensive side, and then the Stewart kid's a little bit, stronger on the offensive side. But neither one of them, it's just like I didn't really like what we kind of saw. It's something that we're going to have to continue to work on if we're going to do it. And that's why we were trying to plan to play against Auburn. They got a couple of 6'5" and a 6'3" and stuff. Well, we need both of them in, How would we handle it, And I think a lot of times we play a lot better when we have one big in and a four-player like, Tamara. When we play Tamara with them, or even Ashton Jones coming off the bench because she can play a little bit bigger and stuff. So it might be something that we might stick with instead of trying to do two bigs at one time.
Coach, I know we talked about it a little bit on Saturday about trying to find more scoring options outside of just Tamara. But now that you've mentioned about not focusing on the offense as much, but trying to get the defense in check as well, how do you, try to emphasize that message to them like, yes, we want to score. We want to find people, but we have to go down and defend because if we put up 100 and they score 101, how do you kind of?
Yeah, when we recruit them, we pretty much tell every kid, you got to come in and play defense. We're not going to sit in the zone and just try all kind of gimmick defenses. We're going to play man-to-man and all that. So we pretty much recruit, A lot of coaches look just at the offensive side when they recruit. We look at I mean, some of the first things we do is look at the defensive side if they are equipped or they're, talented enough to play on the defensive side. So, we always say, I mean, at one point in the game, Saturday, I said, just give me 5 people that want to defend. I mean, that's us. We always want to guard, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Most of them can play offensive side. I think one of the things that it's helping us on the offensive side is we're getting more touches inside. Not necessarily scores, but touches on the inside to play inside out and some dives and all that. And it creates a little bit more. But I mean, you got to be able to defend. It's difficult. Now, I'm not saying that if you got a shooter that really like Lene is a perfect example. We played her last year and didn't defend very well, but she's got it now. She's gotten a lot better, and she understands the process. So sometimes it takes the bench to get them kind of fired up about working hard on the defensive side. But I think all our kids do. I think all our kids take pride and want to be good. They want to be good defensively. They really want to.
Talking about, you mentioned Lene. I know you sat her out Saturday, and you said because of a knee injury. Do you expect her to be back in the lineup and ready for Auburn?
Yeah, her knee was kind of swollen from, the past games and stuff like that, and we just felt this was a good time to kind of rest her. I got a report this morning that she's at 100%, so we did good by doing that. Now, hopefully, we can get her going again and be ready for Auburn.
Is it mental now, or is it confidence, like with the shooting and for most of them? Are you worried that it's kind of that they're putting more pressure on themselves, and maybe once exams is over, that'll help some of that, or how you kind of see all that?
I think when you're a shooter, you got to see the ball going in. I think that's the confidence level. I mean, I can be confident, I can see it and all that, but as a shooter, if you don't see it going in, you lose a lot of confidence. And I mean, the LSU game was like that for Southeastern LSU women. If you saw, they were playing and LSU kept missing, and it was like the goal it shrunk on them, and as the game got closer and closer and closer, and they kept on missing. So it's a little confidence level. But I think the good thing about it right now is they're noticing it, and now we have this month. Or we're going to get in the gym and do 2-a-days, or our coaches get with individual players. Now we're not limited on the hours we can work, So can we take advantage of improving and creating some confidence in themselves? And they know that. They know who's a shooter and not. I don't think you change from becoming a non-shooter and a shooter. We got some shooters on our team, especially jump shooters that can get in the gym, kind of start working on it and getting better and get more. You're exactly right. It's confidence.
What needs to happen to play and compete against Auburn like you want to?
They got a little bit of size, and they got the Grayson kid that can really score it. I think, Johnny comes from A&M. The coach comes from A&M, and she knows how defense is really important, and that's what she's trying to build. I think this is just her second year there, so she's trying to build that defensive side. So can we get some scores? Can we not turn the ball over? They're gonna put some pressure on us to try to turn the ball over. You look at Vic and Coach Blair and all those guys. That's kind of how they played. They were really. They focused on their defense, and so I think we're going to see a lot of that. Can we take care of the ball? Can we get some touches inside? They're going to be a little bit bigger. It makes it, when they're a little bit longer and bigger, it makes it a little bit tougher for us to get scores. So, I mean, it's going to be a great game for us to, kind of right before conference to see where we match up and how do we handle it. Can we keep them off the boards? Can we slow them down? Can we turn them over? That's going to be fun to see.